Hello! We have a single story today, similar to my last relationships video dealing with toxic friendships. But this one trades wealth of money for a wealth of snark that will remind you of the worldwide 2004 sensation and cinematic masterpiece, Mean Girls. The man in today's story has a picture-perfect relationship with the woman of his dreams, but they quickly turn into nightmares every time her best friend is near. And they are near, a lot, almost like they just cannot let go, with a tight grasp over their friend that's slowly choking the life out of them, like an emotional parasite. Story 1. My significant other is a 31-year-old female. Her best friend is a 30-year-old male, and he takes every possible chance to bully me, 33-year-old male, in front of my significant other. Today, he pulled me aside and said I am not good enough for my significant other, and the thought of us together disgusts him. Me and my significant other have been dating since before COVID started. We started dating a few weeks before pandemic stuff happened, so over 3 years now. We have been super happy together and got a place together at the start of the year. She has a friend, let's call him John. They have been BFFs since they were kids. He is very openly gay and is married to his husband. I met John once before the pandemic. He and his husband joined us on our second date. It was only recently that he was actually around and tried to do stuff with us and his husband. Honestly, I never liked John. He has always been someone who demands everyone pays attention to him. If you have an interesting story, he will constantly try to interrupt you and try to tell his own thing that's always much cooler. If he cannot one-up you, he will immediately try to change the topic or someone calls him out on his trash talking. He has always been somewhat hostile to me to the point where I never really liked it. The last few months, he has pretty much just straight up started bullying me, criticizing everything from my clothes to my appearance to even things I like. The last week, it got super bad. When both me and my significant other mentioned we are going on vacation to Japan for a month, something we both wanted to do, John was apparently really hurt by it. Apparently, him and my significant other talked about that for years but never did it due to COVID. I tried to be nice and suggested him and his partner come with us. And he told me he wouldn't ever want to go anywhere and be seen with a loser like me. Okay. Tonight was one of our mutual friends' birthdays, and John showed up after being invited by my significant other. At one point in the night, he pulled me aside when I went to the bathroom and spent 5 minutes throwing an insane amount of shade at me. Everything from I am disgusting, I am garbage. Then he outright told me to break up with my significant other or he would do it for me because our relationship disgusts him. I have told my significant other multiple times like, hey, can you tell John to cool it? I don't like this. I don't want to be around him. John immediately denies everything I say he said. He also only does it when my significant other is not present. Tonight I told her word for word what happened, and she just said she doesn't believe me at all. She has known him for a quarter of a century, and she has never seen anything like that. So I asked if she thought I was lying. She said I was just embellishing what he was saying, and she can tell he is unhappy about our relationship, but that doesn't change anything for her. She loves me, and that is that. Honestly, I feel hurt. I feel she is taking his side always, and it just makes me feel like trash. I don't really know if I can continue this relationship. It just feels so stupid. Edit. Also, to clarify something, my reaction is generally to be extremely nice and just take it on the chin. All of her other friends love me, and some of them have mentioned they really dislike John. I need to leave for work, but I'm going to try talking to her one final time, and if that fails, try to record it. Relevant comments. In response to, and she just said she doesn't believe me at all, Miss Money to You said, that's not an appropriate answer. In response to, she can tell he is unhappy about our relationship, but that doesn't change anything for her. She loves me, and that is that. She said, has she told him this? And in response to, I don't really know if I can continue this relationship. It just feels so stupid. She said, that's totally understandable. By not acting on this, your partner is worsening the conflict and allowing you to not feel heard. If she can't trust you on this, why are you in a relationship at all? OP said, she has made it very abundantly clear that we are a couple multiple times. However, I don't know if those exact words were said to John. Honestly, if it wasn't for this issue, our relationship would basically be perfect, which is why this hurts so much. Not Really an Elf said, Just because he doesn't want to bed her doesn't mean he's not jealous that someone else is taking up her time. Unless there's something you're not telling us, it sounds like he's annoyed that his bestie is giving time and attention to someone who's not him. Has he ever approved of any of her relationships? OP replied, the only other previous relationship she had prior was an abusive one, and he played a big part of getting her out of that relationship, according to her. Dependent Remove said, record him on your phone or get a recorder that can fit in your pocket. Stand up to him. Comments on your clothes? I didn't ask your opinion. Says you are scum. Well, girlfriend likes me, that's all that matters. That's my advice. Stand up and record. OP said, thanks, I am going to try recording. I have tried to reply back and have even got a few laughs from her friends. But he just tends to get even worse and it becomes a massive annoyance. He acts like a child and it drives me mad. Archangel said, one thing I don't understand. Why have you put up with this for so long? The second time he trash-talked you, I would have told him to get lost. And every subsequent time after that he tried to talk to you alone, I would have just walked away. Why did you engage? Why don't you talk to John's partner? Tell him what's been happening. Ask him if John is really gay or maybe he's bisexual and has carried a torch for your girlfriend. If he wants to screw around with your relationship, you can screw around with his. As for your girlfriend, I don't know. On the one hand, if you break up, John wins. But on the other hand, is there a future in a relationship where your girlfriend does not have your back? The petty in me would get a voice recorder. Record him trash-talking you, play it back to your girlfriend saying, that's why you should have believed me. We're done. And then walk away and leave them all to sort out their issues. Sorry, I probably haven't been of much help. At the least, don't engage with John anymore. Anytime the two of you are left alone, just walk away. Whatever else you decide, good luck. OP said, generally, I just ignore him. However, when he threw all that shade at me, he was literally blocking the hallway, preventing me from passing. I am a small guy. John is a big guy. Why don't I talk to John's partner? His partner is frankly just as bad as he is, even worse in some regards. All he ever does is put down people. Any comment you say to him, he treats it as a slight. Apparently, he was livid that my significant other apparently made a suggestion for the look of their new place. My significant other and him don't really get along. Going to try record him. Update 1. I got a lot of good advice, so thank you all. Unfortunately, it does not have a good ending. I tried to talk to my significant other. I sat down with her and tried to have a serious conversation with her. I got him to stupidly rant about how much he thinks I am garbage over WhatsApp. He is apparently not against my skin color, but his reasoning is, I am nowhere near attractive enough apparently for her. I am batting way above my league. And the only reason she is with me is pity. My career as a software developer contributes absolutely nothing to mankind. It gives me a better than everyone attitude. I am painfully boring, and just being around him makes him want to assault me physically. My voice is unbearably grating on him. I made a few comments explaining how petty that sounds, and he lost it over WhatsApp. I even got some of her own friends to comment and say they don't like to be around John. One of her friends ranted to me about John, saying he tried to make her destination wedding about him and his husband. Today I sat down with her, explained how I felt, and showed her the conversation and the comments. I went with the angle of, I don't want you to cut your best friend out of your life, I just don't want to be around this person at all, thinking it would be diplomatic. She took it very poorly and accused me of being manipulative by egging him on in the conversation. I had simply said, what is your problem with me? She said I am being extremely manipulative and I am doing what her ex tried to do by controlling who she can be friends with. She told me she didn't want to be around me and needs space and has decided to go stay with some family while she sorts out her feelings. This evening, she messaged me and said our relationship is over and she would collect her stuff when she calms down. She doesn't want to discuss it as her decision is final. I am in shock right now. On top of that, it seems like she cut ties with a bunch of her friends who supported me. I don't understand her reaction at all, and I just feel devastated. Part of me just wishes I kept my mouth shut, but I just cannot take being bullied and it being ignored by someone who is supposed to love me. I feel lost and hurt, I guess. So sorry, but thank you for all the nice comments. Relevant comments. Definitely Sane Gary said, honestly, man, you are probably better off. The whole situation sounds toxic, and you'll find someone who won't think it's normal for her friends to make you feel like dirt. She clearly has mental issues. OP said, This is what most of my friends have been telling me. It just really sucks. Everything aside from him was fantastic in my eyes. I don't know. Someone said, she said I am being extremely manipulative and I am doing what her ex tried to do by controlling who she can be friends with. Ah, so John ruined her last relationship too then. Mrs. Rosie Parker said, what weird dynamics in that friendship. John is like an abusive, controlling partner to her, but he's supposedly happily married. As OP said, John must be a person who cannot suffer not being the center of the universe. Terrible Business 54 said, I know it obviously sucks right now, but OP dodged a massive bullet here. The ex is so blindly dedicated to her best friend, and if she keeps going along with whatever he says, there might come a day when he's the only person she has left in her life. The relationship was dead anyway. There was no faith, trust, or respect on her side at all. OP's so much better off. I do hope that the ex can snap out of it eventually and ditch John's toxic, manipulative butt. No one deserves to have a best friend as horrible as that. Like I said, you could have literally pulled this out of the movie Mean Girls. The sad thing is, people and so-called friends like this do actually exist. And 3 years is a long time. While I too agree that OP is better off, it sounds like he kinda wasted 3 years of his life with this super mean group of people. Nobody deserves that. Least of all the software developers who are literally changing the world as we know it. Ugh, John. He can go suck a potato. And that's it for today. Until next time, shine bright, Starlight. If you've enjoyed the story and would like to hear more, consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment. Thanks, and bye for now.